It is a Greek notation which is read as summation. And this word but a summation, it has been derived from a Greek word, which is called to be as sama, which is called to be as sama, S-U-M-M-A, sama. In Greek, the meaning of the word sama means it is a sum. Sama means it is a sum. Sum means it is a total. Total means it is a addition. Addition means it is a plus. Addition means it is a plus. And now when we focus over the example, so over your screen you can see the example where we have considered the age of the student and the number of students. Age of the student and the number of students. Age is considered to be as X, whereas the number of students, they are considered to be as F. X is a variable whose values are 16, 17, 18, 19. Whereas the number of students, which represents a frequency, and frequency is denoted by using a small f. While solving with the sums, if we come across anything with respect to number of, anything with respect to number of, it can be the number of workers, it can be the number of children, it can be number of defective items manufactured by a company. Anything with respect to number of, anything with respect to number of, it represents frequency. And at last, the total of frequency which we have obtained, it is equal to 20. It is equal to 20. And this 20, it represents 20. It represents the total of frequency. 20, it represents total of frequency or total frequency. So, any doubts? Okay, good, very good. चलो next. अब सब लोग यहाँ पे मुझे बताओ कि when we focus over this example, bro. So this given example or this given table, it represents the age of how many students? I was aware, मुझे पता था कि तुम लोग यहाँ पे सब लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे बड़ा और कोई ना कोई डेफिनेटली बड़ा मिस्टेक करोगे यहाँ पे. आई वॉज वेरी श्योर बड़ा, इसलिए मैंने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा था बड़ा यहाँ पे. हियर many of the students बड़ा they have given me the answer 4 बड़ा. Dear students बड़ा that 4 is a wrong answer बड़ा. Here the total number of students बड़ा in a class they are equal to बड़ा 20, and since they are बड़ा equal to 20, this table it shows the age of 20 students. इंस्टीट्यूट जो है बड़ा एग्जाम में भी ऐसे ही तुम लोग को बड़ा वहां पे डाउट्स पूछेगा, है ना, और तुम्हारा प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड बड़ा चेक करने के लिए ऐसे क्वेश्चंस बड़ा पूछ के तुम्हें कंफ्यूज करने की ट्राई करेगा बड़ा. बट हमें भी बड़ा वहां पे ध्यान रखना है कि हमें वहां पे बिल्कुल भी बड़ा कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है. वी हैव टू आंसर ईच एंड एवरी क्वेश्चन बड़ा परफेक्टली. The table shows the table it shows the age of shows the age of 20 students. तो जिसने इससे बड़ा आंसर्स मुझे 4 दिए बड़ो, so they should make a correction bro. The answer is not 4 bro. The answer is 20. The answer is 20. Next word bro. And now after completing bro ungroup data with frequency, immediately better there comes a doubt asking the question bro. Yes, sir, in spite of studying ungroup data with frequency, why it is necessary to study about the group data? Why it is necessary to study about the group data? So answer to that question is that this ungroup data with frequency, it has a limitations. And what kind of limitations it has? When the number of observations, when they are the large, and if I ask you to classify that given data in the form of ungroup data with frequency, so but in that case, it is quite troublesome, or it is quite inadequate, or it is very much better time consuming to classify this large number of observations in the form of ungroup data with frequency. अच्छा नहीं समझा? Let me explain with one example. Suppose in a class there are 100 students for which a test of 100 marks was being conducted. The minimum marks scored by a student was 8, whereas the maximum marks scored by the student was 99. And if I ask you to classify this data in the form of ungroup data with frequency, ungroup data with frequency, तो बताओ in that case तुम लोग को बड़ा कहाँ से क्लासिफिकेशन स्टार्ट करना होगा? जल्दी जल्दी बेटा मुझे आंसर दो. You will have to classify a data minimum marks scored by the student is 8, whereas maximum marks scored by the student is 99. So when you will have to start with the classification, so in the first column there will be the marks X, correct? Which will start from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like that. It will continue. It will continue till the maximum marks scored by the student, which is 99. क्या लगता है मैडम? If I ask you to classify the marks with respect to ungroup data with frequency, तो क्या लगता है मैडम तुम लोग को? क्या लगता है बेटा तुम लोग को? Whether it will be easy for us? बेटा whether it will be easy for us? मैडम लग रहा है बेटा किसी को easy यहाँ पे? करेक्ट, कुंज इज आंसरिंग बेटा सर लॉन्ग प्रोसेस हो जाएगा. वेरी गुड बेटा, परफेक्ट. अगर यहाँ पे यस करेक्ट दीप, अगर यहाँ पे बेटा हम लोग ने सपोज यही मार्क्स को बेटा अगर हम लोग ने ग्रुप में क्लासिफाई अगर कर दिया होता बेटा ग्रुप्स में, अच्छा ग्रुप्स में मीन्स कैसे कि अगर ये मार्क्स बेटा हम लोग 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100 अगर ऐसा कर देते तो बोल अपना जो टाइम है बेटा वो यहाँ पे लेस कंज्यूम होता कि नहीं? और अपना जो सम है बेटा वो भी फटाफट सब सॉल्व हो जाता है बेटा. तो हियर इन दिस केस when I have classified the marks बेटा in the form of 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30 and so on till बेटा 90 to 100 बेटा, this are called to be as बेटा, these are called to be as a groups. These are called to be as the groups. The given data, it is being classified in the form of group data. And now, after giving you a sufficient knowledge, why it is necessary to study about the group data. Now, let me proceed with the types of group data. But a group data is also classified in two types. One which is called to be as continuous data and other is called to be as discrete data. Out of which today we'll be starting and we'll be completing with the first type of group data which is called to be as continuous data. Continuous data. So in that case, everyone should make a note of that. सब लोग लिख लो यहाँ पे the continuous type of data, continuous type of data, it is called to be as it is called to be as exclusive data. It is called to be as exclusive data, or it is called to be as overlapping data. Overlapping data. And now, with respect to the examples of a continuous data, you are being known with the marks of a student. The marks scored by a student, which is given to be as 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. The marks of the student, it is being classified into four groups. It is been classified into four groups. Four groups. And these groups in statistics they are called to be as class interval. There is a printing mistake के marks के बाजू में वहाँ पे by mistakenly वहाँ पे x दिया हुआ है. Ignore that. It is not x. It is considered to be as class interval, which is been denoted by capital C, capital I. Here, each of the class intervals, they are been assigned with the two values. One is the minimum value and other is the maximum value. One is the minimum value and other is a maximum value. So when we focus over the minimum value of the class intervals, they are 10, 20, 30, 40. This 10, 20, 30, 40, they are being called to be as the lower limits. They are being called to be as the lower limits or they are being called to be as the lower class boundaries. They are being called to be as lower class boundaries. Whereas for each of the class intervals, you can see that there are the maximum values like 20, 30, 40, 50. This 20, 30, 40, 50, they are being called to be as upper limits. They are being called to be as upper limits or they are called to be as upper class boundaries. Upper limits or they are called to be as upper class boundaries. But 3 is the frequency of the class interval 10 to 20. 7 is the frequency for 20 to 30. 4 is the frequency for 30 to 40. And 6 is the frequency for 40 to 50. तो सब लोग बड़ा पहले नोट कर लो 3, 7, 4, 6. They are called to be as class frequencies. They are called to be as class frequencies. Whereas the total of frequency is 20. So this 20 but it is called to be as this 20 is called to be as the total of frequency. Total frequency. And now basically asking the question that सब लोग बड़ा ध्यान दो मेरे ऊपर कि sir, why we call such type of data to be as continuous data? Why we call such type of data to be as continuous data? The answer to that question is when we focus over such type of data, so in that case, the upper limit of the first class interval and the lower limit of the second class interval is considered to be as a same. Is considered to be as a same, and not only for the first and second one, but for all the consecutive class intervals, for all the consecutive class intervals, since the upper limit and the lower limits, they are exactly the same. Therefore, such type of given data, it is called to be as it is called to be as continuous data. Continuous data. Acha, before I proceed further, tell me, okay, when I want to record the marks, 16, 1, 6, 16, so it is recorded in which class? 16, it will be recorded in which class? सब लोग बड़ा मुझे आंसर दो फटाफट. Very good, Rishabh, Deep, Priya, Priyanshu, Dinesh. Very good, but all of you perfect. Nelson, Kunj, Chetna, Chetna. Very good, but perfect. Suppose if the student has scored 24 marks, that will be recorded in. Correct. Yes. Yes, perfect, but very good. Correct. Very good. 36, 36 marks. Very good, but perfect. Correct. Acha. 48 marks, but 48. Correct. Very good. All of you. And now I'll be increasing the level. You try to answer my question. I will be increasing the level. You try to answer my question. Okay, suppose if a student scores 30 marks, 30 marks. Priya Singh, your answer is wrong. Priya, it will be recorded in 30 to 40. Very good, bro. Suppose if a student scores 40 marks, 40 marks. 40 marks, that will be recorded in. Very good. अब यहाँ पे तुम लोग ने बड़ा कुछ नोट किया in this type of given data. Yes, all of you, very good, beta, perfect. In this type of given data, only the lower limit has been included. Only the lower limit is been included, whereas the upper limit it is been excluded. Lower limit included, upper limit excluded. क्योंकि जब मैंने 30 मार्क्स रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए कहा तो तुम लोग ने उसको 20 to 30 में रिकॉर्ड नहीं किया. क्यों? प्रिया, लिसन इट. क्यों? क्योंकि इन दिस केस 20 to 30 में we can record only the marks which are 20 or greater than 20 but less than 30. उसमें 30 included नहीं है. Therefore, we have recorded the marks 30 in the class interval of 30 to 40. Similarly, the marks 40, it is not been recorded in 30 to 40. it has been recorded in it has been recorded in 40 to 50 बेटा. That means if you refer to my note बेटा, तो मैंने note में बेटा यहाँ पे mention किया हुआ है बेटा. This given type of data, it includes only the lower limit, whereas it excludes the upper limit. It includes only the lower limit, whereas it excludes the upper limit. Therefore, that type of data is called to be as inclusive data. It is called to be as inclusive data. सर ने बोला इंक्लूसिव तो मैंने भी बोला इंक्लूसिव बेटा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. एवरी टाइम बेटा विद द रीजंस यू शुड नो कि सर व्हाई सच टाइप ऑफ डेटा इट इज कॉल्ड टू बी एज बेटा इंक्लूसिव डेटा. व्हाई सच टाइप ऑफ डेटा इज कॉल्ड टू बी एज बेटा इंक्लूसिव डेटा. एंड नाउ आफ्टर नोइंग दिस पार्ट कहीं ना कहीं दिमाग सोचता तो है कि सर आपने हम लोग को ये कंटिन्यूस टाइप ऑफ डेटा जो सिखाया, सर ये कंटिन्यूस टाइप ऑफ डेटा हमें कब यूज करना होगा या फिर कहाँ यूज करना होगा, पता होना चाहिए ना सब लोग को कि सर वेयर वी आर गोइंग टू मेक द यूज ऑफ दिस कंटिन्यूस डेटा. तो आंसर टू दैट क्वेश्चन इज कि व्हेन while solving with the sums which are based upon median. सब लोग बड़ा बराबर ध्यान से सुनो. which are based upon median, mode, quartiles, deciles, percentiles, quartile deviation, mean deviation, and so on. We'll be using the fundamentals of continuous data. We'll be using the fundamentals of continuous data. And apart from that, this continuous type of data, it is also been required or it is also been used for a graphical representation. It is being used for a graphical. Anyone who can answer me? Who can answer me? स्कूल डेज में हम लोग ने उसको यूज किया हुआ है. किसी के पास कोई आंसर है कि हम लोग ने कंटिन्यूस टाइप ऑफ डेटा कौन से ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन में यूज किया है? एनीवन जल्दी जल्दी आंसर दो. आई एम वेटिंग फॉर योर आंसर्स. No, Savio, no. No, Viraj, Devanshu. Shivam has given me the correct answer. Priya has also given me the correct answer. Correct. Yes, Angelina, correct. So here in this case, the yes, Kunj, correct. Mainly, we have used the continuous type of data in a histogram. Histogram. In lower standards, you have studied about the histogram, and in histogram, we were using the fundamentals of continuous type of data. If the given data is not a continuous, if the given data is not a continuous, so in that case, we cannot construct histogram. In that case, we cannot construct histogram. समझा बड़ा सब लोग को? And now, just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. आज पूरा मीन्स कंप्लीट ही कर देता बड़ा मैं. Wait. The students who cannot make out the fundamentals of a histogram for them. over your screen, madam. You can just make out, madam, the histogram, madam. See the diagram, madam. Histogram. I hope madam, my diagram is very clear to all of you, madam. मैंने स्पेशली बड़ा तुम लोग के लिए ड्रॉ करके मैंने ये यहाँ पे रखा हुआ है मैडम, so that you can make out easily, madam. See the histogram, madam. See the histogram, madam. Over the x-axis, madam, we have taken the class intervals, madam. Over the y-axis, madam, I have taken the frequency, madam. है ना? ऐसा लगना नहीं चाहिए यार सर ने खाली अपने को बोला, बट कभी सर ने अपने को यहाँ पे दिखाया भी नहीं कि वो कैसे होता है मैडम. अच्छा, ओवर द डायग्राम मैडम, एवरीवन नोस दिस साइन. तुम लोग बड़ा जूम करके चेक करो, जूम करके ये साइन को पहचानते हो तुम लोग? व्हाट दिस साइन इज कॉल्ड एज? जिसको बड़ा आंसर पता है मुझे फटाफट रिप्लाई करो चैट बॉक्स में. फटाफट रिप्लाई करो बड़ा मुझे चैट बॉक्स में. Correct, but it is called to be as a king sign, but king, king. It is called to be as a king mark, and we use but this king sign, correct, in order to show that the class intervals are बड़ा continuous. अब एक लास्ट पार्ट सुन लो बड़ा सब लोग. अब यहाँ पे बड़ा तुम लोग को पता होगा बड़ा कि 10 to 20 is the first class interval and 20 to 30 is the second class interval बड़ा. So when you focus over the 20 बड़ा, 20 is the upper limit of the first class interval, whereas 20 is the lower limit of the second class interval. Since the upper limit of the first class interval and the lower limit of the second class interval, they are exactly the same. Means they get coincide, they get overlap on each other. एक के ऊपर एक आते हैं, एक के ऊपर एक आते हैं. Because of that reason, madam, we call continuous type of data to be as a overlapping data. Q overlapping because the upper limit and the lower limit of the consecutive class intervals they get coincide. Coincide means they get overlap. They come one over the each other. And because of that reason, they are called to be as overlapping class intervals. They are called to be as overlapping type of data. Overlapping type of data. समझा बड़ा सब लोग को? और जैसे मैंने कहा था बड़ा कि सर ने बोला और इसलिए हम लोग ने मान लिया, ऐसा नहीं होता बड़ा. एवरीथिंग इट शुड बी नोन बड़ा विद द रीजन बड़ा. चलो बड़ा, विल कंटिन्यू द रिमेनिंग पार्ट बड़ा इन अवर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. आज के लेक्चर में मैंने जो पढ़ाया बड़ा सबको समझा? आज जो मैंने पढ़ाया बड़ा सबको समझा? किसी को कोई बड़ा डाउट्स, कोई डाउट्स पूछना है किसी को? ओके बेटा, चलो तो रिमेनिंग पार्ट बेटा विल कंटिन्यू इन अवर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर order. Till then, everyone take care, stay safe, and stay home. Yeah. Bye all of you. Thank you.